Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the stream, and welcome back to Mars, Tats, Katie, B, and Steve. How are you all doing today?
Oh, doing pretty good today.
Hello. Doing
I'm
all right.
good. How are you?
I have preserved some spoons for today. So I have spoons. There's not many, but they exist. So there we go. That's all that I can do for you, I'm afraid. Wow, thank you so much, Lucy. You
That's
crazy,
totally
crazy
fair.
person. Thank
I'm
you.
kind of in the same state.
Such
I
a
actually
great guy.
have some spare spoons today because I didn't have all my meetings because people are
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
vacation.
Well, I'd
So,
like
yeah.
to say welcome to Shen, who is in the chat with us at the moment, but not in Discord with us, unfortunately. We are short one Shen, because Shen's not feeling too great today. But that's fine. What we've decided between ourselves is that Isabel is going to make use of this lovely pile of books, since Isabel is a big old book nerd. Not very common in barbarians, that, like in the old books. But we are still in our sleep from the long rest. So with that, shall we go back and recap the last session? The last session was kind of chunky, to be honest. Quite a lot happened. So basically what we got through was you found out more information about Sir Curly's slave trade at the 4 points. You found the names of 3 captives, which Ruby knew, and 4 which she did not. Merlin explained some of the stranger's nature, who has come known at this point as the Spider, who basically summed up that they are older than the current gods, to the best of his recollection. Seems to want to be friends with people, but most of the friends who have written any accounts of these trades or deals seem to fizzle out with those records before long. Why, they don't know. And we know that Rumpelstiltskin and Aurelie are both missing. We know that Merlin has removed some of the curses from your items. And then the stranger, or the spider, appeared to Ruby in their sleep. Showed Ruby a broken bridge over the water with 3 decaying tabaxi hanging from it, each with signs written on them saying don't come back. Ruby said that they'd rather not have seen this, and the spider then said, I'd rather you not call me Spider. As this being tried to walk away and just leave Ruby, Ruby did her best to perceive the stranger and rolled a wisdom save. Rolled an 18 on a wisdom save. By all means, that's a pretty good roll. Most times, I would say, a wisdom save of 18 would do you pretty good. How do you feel about it, B?
I would say I'm confident, but I doubt it.
Confident. Okay. With that said, as you go to look in their direction, having only perceived them from the corner of your eye for this whole time, this dark void shape in the corner of your eye, always beside you, never in front, sometimes behind, a murmur in the wind, never really directly in your view. This stranger reaches out back to you as you reach out to them. And you feel a piercing in your mind. As they cause you an incredible amount of damage. Psychically.
Nice.
You receive 10 psychic damage. For just even attempting to look in their direction, and you suffer the stunned condition, which, as you're asleep, won't make any difference because you'll wake up and it will be fine. And as you wake up, you will also still have this damage because this happened halfway through your sleep. So you'll wake up with some hurt, but at least you won't be stunned. And as you try and look in their direction, you feel that the shade gets pulled over your eyes and the rest of your dream is completely black. That's where you are. What do we think
Lovely.
that the other group are all dreaming of? Victor, Ash, Briar, Aldrin, anything that you think in particular that you would have gone to bed thinking about? No, Cool Cat, Giddy isn't here today. Giddy's
I know I wasn't thinking
Giddy's not a
about
part of
the
this campaign.
friend.
Okay.
No, neither. I think I would have kind of, again, as is Victor's routine, committed the day to his notebook and
Right.
then slept in small bouts and got up and kind of like paced around for a minute just to get rid of like that kind of nervous energy and then back to sleep. So I don't know if you might have seen people if they were having the nightmare as such.
Yeah.
He wouldn't disturb if they looked like they were just sleeping, but he would kind of take note if they looked like they were sleeping like fitfully, I think.
Okay. Aldrin? Anything in
Uh,
particular
y-
that you were thinking of when you went to bed?
Yeah, so Aldrin only sleeps for about 4 hours. Because they just sort of
You
meditate.
meditate, yeah.
So they're just kind of probably thinking about their happy place, thinking about like a pond of frog,
Thanks, Shen.
to just sort of pass that time. But then would be watching out for the group
Yeah.
the rest of the night, watching the area as well.
Yeah.
Also, just wanted to double check. This Merlin is the, as my brain is remembering, partial Merlin.
Simulacrum. So
Yeah.
they're a simulacrum. So they are a humanoid, what's the word? Construct.
Horcrux?
Like a construct. So they're like made of wax, basically. Like he looks and feels and appears to be a regular human person, but he cannot take long rests, he cannot recover spell slots, and he has only half the HP of the original Merlin.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check that. Thank you.
No problem.
But yeah, that's what Aldrin will be doing. Just sort of watching over the group,
Yeah.
taking note of if folks are having any kind of trouble, and then
Yeah.
also just watching the area just in case. We are in a relatively safe space in their mind, but at the same time, you never know. It's still weird here.
Mm-hmm. And Briar, any thoughts on what your thoughts would have been as you went to bed?
Fire would be, I think, having a little bit of a nightmare about the riddles and
Yeah,
being
yeah.
in like the sort of astral jail or whatever.
Yeah. I can
put in.
completely appreciate that. I think was that the first? I think that was the second time that you've been put in that
Yeah.
jail, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So I think you're becoming quite familiar with a four-dimensional space. It seems.
Yeah, for sure.
Before long,
So,
you'll know where the door is, and you'll just be able to pick it and leave.
just in and out.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah.
think she would be kind of like having maybe not like a full-on nightmare, but like, you know, an unpleasant dream about riddles.
Right.
And prison.
Yes. And
Bad riddle prison.
yeah, and bad riddle prison. Well, you all see, as Shen has kindly offered in the chat, Isabel would have been asleep with a book on her face as usual. So we love that. So Victor, as you're fitfully waking, and Aldrin, as you're sort of watching over the group, you both see that Isabel is like deeply snoring with a book splayed across her face, but seems contented. Ruby, however, you see, is not having such a good time. For a short period of time, Ruby seems like Ruby is sort of frozen in place, and then eventually sort of loosens up and is able to start turning, but has this sort of pained expression on her face as she sleeps. This like as if having a migraine while slumbering. You sort of get that impression. But eventually things settle. Ruby turns over again and seems to get into a deeper sleep. Less troubled, more settled. Isabel continues to snore. Ash is, the quills and the feathers all sort of moving about and sort of rustling as if having a lovely dream. And then you each go to bed in your own time.
Yes.
But you do have another visitor.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure we've met. What was your name again? Victor, you, in your sleep, have this sensation of somebody next to you.
My name is Bernard.
Give me a deception check.
Oh God, I'm gonna get myself killed. Wait, what did I just? Oh, okay. I thought I'd rolled a question, but then that's 4.
You rolled a 4.
I did.
Okay. Bernard, is it? Okay, Bernard. Well, I think we might be of use to each other. I think you've got questions, perhaps, about your origins, or maybe a friend? I would like to very much be friends with you.
And at what cost
No cost at all.
is this friendship?
Friends give and take all the time. Nobody keeps track, do they? I do a favour for you and you do a favour for me. There's no time limit. You don't need to give it back. I could just give you the information and then, in the future, should I ask you to do something for me, if you feel that way inclined, then you do it. Feels like a fair trade to me, doesn't it to you?
I mean, if I weren't certain I were dreaming, I would be perhaps more inclined to exchange information.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? People conjure in their mind the most beautiful of places. They take themselves away to the most wonderful and just fantastical environments and surroundings. Your dream is where you're most comfortable. It's what your brain and your subconscious create for you as your safe space from the real world. Where better for me to come and speak to you than in your comfort zone? Exactly where I think a friend should be speaking to another potential friend.
With all due respect, it's somewhat intrusive.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm very sorry to have done so. I think that perhaps you've seen some of my handiwork, though, in the material plane, at least. We could call this the dream plane, I suppose. Something
Right.
along those lines, maybe. I've never really thought to give it a name.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
I think that perhaps your friends might be able to.
Right, and if I'm asking my friends of you, what name should I give them?
Oh, I don't go by any one name. Everybody seems to have a name for me.
Right.
I only care that you call me friend.
Okay. I don't have many friends.
I disagree. You're in a room with 6 of them. 7 if you accept my help.
Yes, this is all relatively new to me. I usually prefer to do things by myself.
And I can
It's
understand
much
that.
simpler.
I'm a very solitary person myself, but I'm in the business at the moment of trying to make more friends, and I think that you'd be a good one. Maybe if you're unfamiliar with making friends, we could go through some niceties to begin with. What do you say, Bernard?
I think taking it slow is a great idea.
Okie dokie. Well then,
I
in
am
that
by no
case...
means rude, but I do not know you, I'm afraid.
And I wish to get to know you. I've barely met you. You've seen my work, of course.
Then perhaps could you be more specific?
Well, I
I've seen a
saved
lot
you
of
from jail,
things over the
didn't
last few
I?
days.
I saved you from jail. I saved you from being mauled at the hands of monstrous creatures. Who's to say the lengths that I might be able to go to protect you? Maybe to find your friend. Really, was it?
He doesn't answer, but he visibly flinches at that.
You get a sense from the side of you that they'd sort of give you a nod.
As I said, I'm not sure with the things that have transpired over the last week or so that I am in a position to trust somebody stepping into my dreams.
Well, if you saw me in real life, I think that you might be in for a shock. I'm unfortunately, I've lived a long time, and I don't particularly look particularly good for it. In my time, I looked young and fresh and sprightly, but here I'm able to, well, project the way that I wish to look. I wish to look like a friend, and a friend always is sat beside you.
Okay. I'm gonna try to again. I obviously I don't know what everyone else has seen, so I'm gonna try to look at this person. And
Okay, give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yeah. Oh, I've not done this before. Cool.
I send you
Oh
luck.
my god. It didn't work.
Okay, and with a 3, we roll 4d6 psychic damage, and you take 20 damage.
Yikes.
No!
Okay.
You're also in the stunned condition, so at this point you're not really able to answer.
Mm.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. As I say, I would give you a bit of a shock. There's just things that you're probably not prepared for. And right now, I think that the best thing that you need is a friend. I'm wanting to be that friend for you. Well, why don't I leave you to consider this, since you look like you might need a bit of a rest after all. That's what happens when you don't do as I ask. Victor. And your vision goes black for the rest of the dream. Everybody wakes up at the end of your long rest, with Ruby and Victor having taken their damage, waking up with that much less, but not being stunned anymore. The rest also being completely refreshed and replenished. All of your spell slots back, everything else back, etc., etc., etc. So yes, you now have the impact of a long rest, if maybe not all of the health of it.
Yeah.
You now
Just
wake up in Merlin's tower with everybody else around you. Isabel at this point takes her leave and walks over towards all of the books and just starts chilling with the books. What do the rest of you do?
Um, I think Victor probably sits like holding his head for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
as trying to figure out like what the fuck's going on. I have heard the others speak about this friend, right?
Yeah. I would say that you've heard sort of whisperings on the edge of the group, but there's never been any sort of open discussion about it, besides asking Merlin about these things.
Okay.
It's been a
Hey,
question of a
Datesu
question.
didn't whisper.
No, Datesu did not
Yeah.
whisper.
There was one whole
Yeah.
big conversation where we all could have picked up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we would have noticed with dates because we'd not encountered and they were just copying people's voices
Right.
essentially at the time. So I don't
Don't
think that would
don't
have stood
forget
out.
there is a beginning of a session where Ruby and Ash were openly discussing it post Ash's dream
I thought
sequence.
so.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
is
well, there
more
was that.
widely known.
And then also the chat we had before, like, we lay down.
Yeah, you're excellent whispering as well, Ash.
Yeah, well, I mean, I tried. We all suck at stealth, okay?
Speaking of sucking at stealth, Merlin is stood very conspicuously just staring at all of you. Because Merlin doesn't rest, so Merlin's just sort of been stood there the whole night.
I figured Merlin would have been, like, reading his books.
No. He said he explained to you last session that he had exhausted all of the texts that he had here, and that's why he needed to find someone else. That's why he was going to let you rest, but then as soon as you left, he was going to leave as well, so he could find someone.
Do I want to ask? Yeah, Victor will kind of get up like groggily, and he'll be like, I think, your friend may have, visited me in my sleep. I feel like shit. He just says out loud to the group.
Could I do a medicine check to see how much Victor feels like shit?
Yeah? Free check?
It's a lot.
Victor looks not to be physically injured, but certainly looks like... I don't know. Like he's recovering hard from something. That, like he's been hit with a sledgehammer in the brain. Or even in the soul. He's got less than half of what he should have as his full complement.
I'm gonna just cast Healing Word on him then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright, you get 8 health. There you go, I've applied it.
He can.
So you're doing a little bit better. You're still not quite at full, and neither is Ruby. But the two of you are, you know, getting on with the morning's activities, which are what, by the way? Are we eating? Are we drinking while all of this is happening? Is anybody going and using, like, the fountain to wash yourselves up or anything like that? Anything at all?
Ruby requests some cheese.
There's so much cheese.
There's
Honestly,
plenty of
it's
cheese.
probably
would like-
it's
we have
probably
like one
sweating
Don't
at this
have to
point
breakfast
because
yet.
there's no real good way of preserving and keeping cheese from going off when it's warm and humid in a plant room like this is. So the cheese is probably going to go off very soon if you don't all start eating it rapidly.
Wait, are you talking about the
Ruby
cheese in my bag
eats
too?
a lot of.
Well, Ruby's probably either sick to death of it or loves the bones of it because, you know, Ruby essentially was raised at a dairy, so
The smell of the cheese doesn't affect Ruby. Ruby just eats the cheese.
yeah. Food,
Yeah,
stomach,
breakfast
fill
time.
hole. Yeah. Merlin goes
Fill
down
hole, fill
his hatch and gets about the business of the day. What do the rest of you do? Do you sit and continue
Briar-
discussing, or do you want to get moving?
Would Briar notice that Ruby is also hurting and has ouchies?
What do you think, B? Do you think you would be outwardly displaying the impact of this pain, or not?
So it may be less of the, oh, look, I'm in, feeling pain type thing. But
Yeah.
what Ruby would be doing right now is, as soon as she's woken up, is taking off, is kneeling on the floor, sort of, bum resting on feet, and taking
Yeah.
off her cloak, or the cloak, the tenon cloak,
Yeah.
laying it in front of her. And Ruby looks like she's meditating in the sense of she's like grounding herself. So she's
Right.
clearly not doing a standard morning waking up. That's what I imagine she's doing right now.
Okay. Trying to center herself. I
Yeah,
think
spot on.
I think that if Ruby is acting that way and different to how she normally would, I think that it would be perfectly reasonable of a healing cleric as yourself, Briar, to want to do a medicine check just to see how Ruby's doing.
Okay. Should I roll for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I've got wrong sheet up. There we go. And medicine.
With a 9, I think that you can see that Ruby is focusing on something, but you can't quite tell what. Obviously, there's no visible injuries here, and Ruby woke up with the rest of you, so you assume the best. You assume that Ruby is well rested and has come back from a deep rested sleep. And obviously, you weren't awake during the moments that Victor and Aldrin were keeping an eye on the group, so you didn't see that fitful nighttime moment. But you do your best. You see what you can, and unfortunately, right now, that does not include that Ruby is injured, or at least hurting.
Okay.
Mm.
Could I write a little note? Because I don't want to disturb Ruby as she's meditating, but I'll just like sort of jot down on a piece of paper. I can see you're not feeling 100%. If you'd like some healing, just when you're feeling up to it, come to me and
Give me a... Let's see. What could it be? I guess just a flat intelligence roll. Not a saving throw, just an intelligence roll. They click on the intelligence at the top.
it's not clickable.
I will click it
in
for
the
you.
little box where it says saving throws.
I've clicked it. There you go. It's just an intelligence ability check, so it's adds your flat modifier without the bonus if you have a proficiency in that saving throw. So you rolled a 12. With a 12, I think that you can just about word this in a way that Ruby will actually be able to read most of it. Since Ruby doesn't have much in the way of literacy skills, was sort of trained in the way of the fist rather than in the way of the pen. And so knows words that would be in use around a dairy or a factory. And so some of those things are not particularly going to be pertinent to it, but words like healing and doing something, like those kind of things, they would certainly have been in use around there. So Ruby, you should be able to read this and get the basic gist of it. So as you come around from your meditation, you see this note in front of you, and it's up to you how you respond to it.
Okay, thank you. So Ruby will take her time with the note and then walk up to Brea and say, I'd appreciate some help if you're offering.
Absolutely. And I'll put my hand out and rest it on Ruby's shoulder, and I will cast her wounds.
Cool. Is there anything in particular, any kind of deific, deity, god, principle, or even just a feeling of spirit that you reach out to as you cast this magic and divine it through yourself from the gods?
Yeah, I would imagine it would look something like a very pale blue light kind of like emanating from my hand, and I'll look up to the sky and I'll say, Goddess Ear, please help heal my friend as I place my hand on Ruby's shoulder.
Lovely. And you give Ruby 5 HP back, which I've applied to you. Nice. Well, you're all sort of starting to get your wits about you. Aldrin, you looked as if you were chasing after Merlin. Was there anything in particular you wanted to do there?
Aldrin's just sort of following after Merlin, wanting to see what's up, what he's up to. But then also, stopped over by Ruby so that once they came out of their meditation, they could ask, "Did you have a nightmare?"
Yeah, I might just have.
It seemed like it. Sorry about that. I didn't know if I should try and wake you or not.
I'm not sure how wakeable I would have been. I appreciate the care. Memories can haunt you, you know?
Yeah, they do that sometimes.
They do.
I'm gonna go follow our wax friend and see what he's up to.
He goes downstairs. He goes into his bedroom. He changes into a different robe. He doesn't really particularly care that you're stood watching him. He just, gets into a new one. The wax, it rubs off sometimes on this thick, coarse wool. So he likes to get into a new one and get the other one into the old prestidigitation, get it all spruced up. He goes back out into the main area, checks up on things, makes sure that he's got some fresh riddles ready for the statues. And then heads back upstairs, gets back on, just sort of stood watching you all, waiting for you to decide when to leave so that he can, for one, keep an eye on Isabel before she leaves, and then lock up, essentially, after you've gone. He wants to make sure that the tower is kept secure and safe once everybody has made their journeys out.
Before we head off, can I quickly speak to Merlin?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
hello.
Aldrin would like to grab.
Should we
fresh
step over here
provisions.
to one side?
Thank you.
I'm very sorry. I'm just very aware that you didn't really like my little indiscretion the last time.
I appreciate your change. But this time I'm more just checking that the money that I've given you, Merlin, and you're kindly helping get to my people. Do you? I
Yes,
just want
of
to check
course.
you know where that is. You know where that is, or?
You said the Deer Dairy, right?
Yes.
Oh yes, it's up in the Red Wall Mountains.
Thank you. I'd be very grateful if you made sure it was given to my friends Crimson or Berg. I trust them.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course. Should I say that it's from you?
You can.
I shall then.
Only if you feel. Thank you, Merlin. You've been a great help to all of us.
Oh, well. Thank you.
And I wish you safe travels.
And I wish you the same. Now, speaking of those travels, I don't mean to hurry you out of here, but I do wonder, if you wished to catch whatever it is you're in sight of catching, shouldn't you be heading off?
I think so too. Are we all ready to head off, guys? Or do you need more time?
Yes, I believe so.
Aldrin's just grabbed some fresh cheese.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to keep the cheese thing going. All right, great.
Yep. We gotta have the provisions. So we're grabbing some provisions while we're here. And what we got is what we got. We got baguettes and we got cheese. So
I love
there
that.
we go.
So Merlin brings you all over into the teleportation room. Now, you do still have the freedom of talking to each other, discussing whatever it is that you wish to do. Before you go through this teleporter, it will take you directly to where you wish to go, which is Lynborough Port. However, there is still the matter of the dreams, and I don't know whether you guys had finished that conversation. So if it's something that you think that your characters would continue discussing at this point, you have the floor. If not, then we can head through the teleporter.
Did we decide we were just going straight to that town, or did we decide if we were going to be teleported onto the boat? I don't think we can be on the boat, right?
We can't teleport onto the boat. We have to go to like another teleportation circle, I believe.
Oh yes, you will leave through the teleporter at a doorway that my houses essentially are built with. You teleport between the houses. You don't teleport anywhere you want to.
Does anybody know Lynborough Ports well? Or are we asking for directions when we get there?
I think that Aldrin and Ash are less travelled than others. I think Aldrin probably more than Ash, because Aldrin's, over 100 years old at this point. I think, Victor, you've probably done the rounds, but I don't know whether you would have gone to a port town. I think you probably would have been between the main cities, and that's probably less likely to have been a port. Briar, I don't think that you probably would have headed up there. I think that you probably would have been stuck in your studies, but please correct me if you think I'm wrong there.
Oh no,
Ruby,
I
I
think
think
Briar not traveled at all.
Ruby, I
She's been
think
in the
that's
lab.
yeah, I think that's fair. And I think Ruby has probably done the rounds a lot more than most because Ruby's traveled like to other territories / countries. Read that as country. So Ruby's sort of traveled far and wide by foot. So certainly got the calloused foot pads to show for it, but it really, I think that it really comes down to a roll of whether Ruby would have been there before or not. There's many reasons to go to a port, but I think that you might have been more likely to go to a port that's closer by the dairy than you would have anything else. Because the dairy is by a river, and you would have most likely just travelled downstream instead of going all the way to a coastline. So let's do a history check for Ruby, please. And we'll say that it's a 15. 15 or above, you have been to Lynborough Port before. 20 or above, and you know it very well.
Okie dokie, bear with me, because Foundry's just being a bit strange.
Yeah. A 2.
Never mind.
You barely even recognise the name Lynborough Port.
Lingonberry Port? I don't know how familiar I am with it. I'm afraid I'm more of a river traveller than I am an open water traveller.
Lingonberry Port sounds delicious.
Yes, indeed.
I hear it's nice with
Well, we
meatballs, I think.
We'll ask for directions when we arrive.
Could Aldrin do a history check to see if they remember having read anything and
Yeah, for real. Yeah, sure.
town's history kind of deal?
I think reading about it is going to be a lower DC. I think that's probably more of a 12.
Alright.
A 23. You know it well, but you know it by map and by book. You don't really know it by being there. So you've read historical accounts of what the place was and of what it is today. And you've read those in sort of the off the beaten track kind of a book, not the official, government or king sponsored book. You've read the actual historical accounts of travelers. That's the kind of thing that you would have had access to. And I think that those are probably more likely the points of view that Aldrin would have been more interested in. Aldrin being sort of a shunned outcast person in their own culture and village. I think that you would probably be more interested in what those kind of people also have to say of the world. And to read of their exploits, to see, these are the kind of things that you might be doing one day. And with that, yeah, you see that there's a big historical sort of passion of the people of Lynborough Port, that they love to be able to wax lyrical about the fact that they have a noble who is like a full lineage of nobility, has grown up and lived there. They have a great deal of dealings with trade, in and out of the territory because they're a big shipping lane, basically, for the whole area, just because of the way that the currents go with the seas around it. And it's a very well protected place. They had some history with the wars, as the Fae folk would have hit their shores before hitting Ironfront, where they eventually stopped and were driven back in the Old War. And
Might
so
be a
they
decent
had a lot of
place to sell
naval warfare
potions.
against the fairies. So they're a capable town. But those records didn't really... They're not very contemporary to this time. They were sort of, like, in your youth. They were about, like, 100, 150 years ago. Something in between, like, accounts in that range of things. So you've read some of them from before your time, and some from when you were a kid. And they all seem to have the same sort of vibe of the place. That it's a big shipping place, very proud people, and even in some cases noble people.
Alright. So this place is a little on the wealthy side and lots of shipping coming and goings. I know the area by map and by books. So if we can find a map, I can get us around a little easier once we get there. But I don't know how
Then,
tricky
um,
that might be.
a map we should find. I'm sure they will have somewhere we could purchase one. We have a little gold now.
Oh, that's right, we do.
Okay, and perhaps we keep an eye out for your, and I do air quotes, friend, on our travels. I would rather not have my sleep disturbed again.
I think Aldrin and Briar, you're probably starting to get the basic idea of what's going on here, but you're both still a little bit not completely clued up with that.
Oh, well, Aldrin's in on the picture because they had their whole conversation
You were
very
right next to it.
nonchalantly, 3 feet right behind them.
Right, you were
And
right
Aldrin
next to
thought
it.
they were part of the conversation.
Right. Social
I'm
cues.
not sure if this person is, as Merlin says, old and powerful, then I don't think it's anything we can deal with right now.
Seems like they contact when they want to.
Yes. So unless anybody knows a means of stopping that, then I think we just take it one step at a time.
Let's just make our way. I don't think we can solve anything of our friend right now.
Merlin, one last thing.
Yes, of course.
Leave. Do you perhaps have a magical means of locating our friend Rumpelstiltskin?
Oh, he pulls out his wizard's tome, his spell book, and he starts looking through all of them, as I do exactly the same. No, it doesn't seem that I do.
Then I thank you all the same for looking. And for
I do
allowing us
apologize.
to
It's
stay.
just I don't really
No,
have
no.
much use for it, I'm afraid.
No.
Thank you.
There's no apology needed. Thank you for all of your help.
Oh, no problem at all. If you do find Lingonberry Port, please bring some back for me.
We will.
Sounds like
Lovely.
a jammy place.
Oh, I see what you did there. Oh, you are a good one. I like you.
I like you too, man.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm a chip off the old block, you know. Anyway, are we headed off then? Should I fire up the old doorway?
I believe so.
Yeah, please do.
He presses like a stone block in on the side of it and shifts it over and shifts another one over like it's like one of those sliding block puzzles. And eventually the glyphs are all arranged in a different order, and this whole thing starts shifting and changing in a different direction. What was a smooth, like golden glistening gate is now more of a tumultuous looking stormy one of like a blue hue, and you can almost feel like a salty mist coming off a sea air is sort of washing over you in the face. And as each of you step through, he bids you all a safe journey and a fond farewell. Please do return someday. I just don't know exactly when. I will send Isabel on after you. I'm sure that you'll figure out how to get her attention once she's moved on. I don't know quite why she's looking through my books. The one that she's looking at the moment is on fairy tales, and I don't really know what there is to learn from that, but never mind. I'll guide her hand if she needs it. Thank you all very much. We'll see you soon. And you all come out on the other side of a gate. In Linborough Port. This, you can see, is very different to Dreedle. Dreedle with no trees, no grass, no sort of lush greenery of any kind to speak of. No real bustle of the people. But here you can hear the conversations of the commoners. You can see that the guards have got a pep in their step and they're well presented. They've got a nicer, cleaner uniform. All of the houses here, they're well appointed. They've got lovely coloured daubs on the sides of them. They've got like hardwood and softwood doors that are finished with like a what do you call it? Stained glass in the fronts and sides. You see that you've popped out next to what looks like a stone totem, but you can tell that this has an eminence of magic about it and would obviously be one of those things that glows incredibly at night time, like Merlin's house in Dreedle did. You start to realize that Merlin doesn't just make the same house everywhere that he goes. But you also appear right next to a guard. The guard is startled by the appearance of 5 people all at once, but it's not the first time that he's seen people teleporting in a fantasy world such as this. So he sort of goes, "Oh! Oh! Bloody hell. Well, if you're going to appear like that, I'm just glad that you didn't land on me head. Fucking hell." And he walks off up the township.
Okay,
You
there he
are
goes.
all now in
Goodbye.
Linborough Port. Mars, you would recognize that this is like it's like a standing stone that the people of Linborough Port have always sort of revered, but never quite understood what it was. Because travelers seem to appear and disappear at it all the time, and so they always just assumed that it had something to do with the god of travel. But you recognize that it's just been Merlin's like waypoint essentially for this whole time, and people just were too dumb to realize.
Waystone.
But yeah, you've got the run of the place. To the north of you is the port itself. To the south is all sort of suburbs, other houses, not really anything there. But you look at your surroundings, it looks like you're sort of, although it's getting on towards winter time, the leaves are still on the trees here. They're still in their green stages, although a lot of them are still browning. You can see that there's like people in the streets are sweeping up a lot of the leaves and leaving them in piles on the side of the road. It's a very well-to-do place.
Ruby, upon sort of noticing the well-to-do place, tries to smooth out her clothes or her fabric as best as possible to make her appearance as good as possible.
Might I say it was a good decision on all of your parts to wash up after being soaked in piss and shit, because you would have had a very different reception had you not. So yeah, you all appear in this lovely, lovely place. What are your first actions? What do you want to do first? I know that you wanted to find the ship. You wanted to find the ship, the Final Promise.
Yes. I think perhaps we look for the usual places to gather information. Maybe a shop or or a tavern,
Looks
or
like
even speak
there's
to the
a
gods.
gathering space up ahead.
Then perhaps we head there. Yes.
Let's go.
What buildings do we walk past? Are any of them like obviously kind of like shops or
There's a
taverns or anything, just for
blacksmith,
me
there's a
to take note of?
baker, there's a lovely sort of like a study that somebody's hired out. There's sort of seated areas that people just sit and have teas with each other. It's more or less like your standard sort of London district town centre. You know, it's all coffee, it's all breads, it's all like artisan stuff, and just places for people to sit down and talk to each other. There is a stables a little bit further down on the left here, but it looks like all of the barn doors are open and the horses are out. They must be out just riding today. And you can see that there's a tavern a little bit further down with some more beds, but it looks a little bit better appointed than the one that you were at before. And of course, you see that there's a meeting space here. There's a lot of like cargo up on this bit. You don't know whether it's just been dropped off or it's about to be shipped away onto one of the ships, but it's just sort of a gathering area for that. Over to the right here, you can see that there's more of a secure storage area that some of the shipwrights and crews might use for a lot of their stuff. All of these things are well signed. They're well labeled, well put together. And then there's a absolutely huge tavern right over here at this corner of town, the northwest of town, where an enormous lot of pirates, sailors, tradesmen, captains, guards would probably come here to gather, shoot the shit, and just unwind after some difficult travels. So yeah, a huge wooden built tavern there. But yes, there is a small gathering place here with some like market stalls and a couple of lovely braziers that are sort of roaring even in the lovely warmth of the sun. And there's commoners sat here. There's a guard sort of keeping eye. Anything in particular that catches your eye while you're here?
Yeah, all the wood in the buildings, and you know, it's all new to me.
A lot of wood. A lot of trees been cut down for this place.
Yes, this is not like but it seems
This
pleasant.
is quite the place. I've seen huts and I've seen houses, but these are huge. Look at that one. What are
I'm
your
scared
house
how
in it?
many. I'm scared how many trees were used in making these, though.
A truly ungodly amount.
How many
Yeah,
people
yeah.
live here?
It seems as though the forest is thriving outside of town, though, so perhaps trees were replaced, or replanted, or something.
I
Well, I
mean,
sure hope so. Don't go cutting down trees for no reason.
Yes.
well, they must have had to clear the area here in order to build these buildings. So maybe they just used that? But still,
We can hope so.
this is a big space.
Was there a jeweler or that type of thing, DM? I know you said there's a blacksmith. But was
Ooh,
there
let's
like a
see.
jeweler or appraiser?
None of these buildings look particularly along those lines. No, I wouldn't say that any of these really scream out jeweler, but you might still be able to find a person that could appraise a gem, or speak to a tradesman of whether they might want to swap with you. But no, none of the places here really look like that kind of an establishment. No.
Okay, thank you.
She's trying to give away my gift.
Yeah.
So, guys, do we want to head straight to port, or are we going?
I
Do you
mean,
guys
it
want to
looks
go
like
elsewhere?
Well,
it's
well,
obvious which way the port is, right, from where we're standing.
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
a
You
terrible
can feel
assumption for us to, yeah.
it's like a stone's throw from where you're stood. It's like 100 feet. You know from experience that when you're stood that close to the ocean, you could just feel it. You can just feel the air like washing over you with the salt and the brine of the breeze. And just looking straight down here, you can see the open ocean. It's sort of like if you were to look at it on the map overall of Alandressa, this does curve around to the west before you can actually leave this key. That's one of the beauties of this area of Alandressa, is that's how they can defend it so well, is because it's mostly landlocked. It takes a lot of movement into the port to be able to get here. So any naval warfare that tried to get in here or tried to blockade would basically be thwarted immediately. Because there's just no way for somebody to easily access this port without being first shot upon from two different shorelines. So yeah,
Oh.
you're looking at a pretty secure port, but it is right there ahead of you.
Well,
Perhaps,
this place is quite organized, so maybe they have someone who keeps a list of the ships that come in. We could find out if that ship came in. I don't know, was there someone on it that we needed to talk to as well?
they were um shipping like kidnap victims, I believe, to skin them for their pelts. Is that correct? Sorry, Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are effectively slave traders, so I don't know if their business will be on the books, as it were.
Is it
Um,
more wise if we head down to the docks and I mean, you guys saw the ship, right? Could you recognize it or?
I would be able to recognize the ship, I
Yeah.
believe. Yes. I did write down what it was called, didn't I? Yeah, but I think I'd recognize the ship.
You remember it's called
No,
the Final Promise.
Oopsie.
Are we going to be bold and head down?
Perhaps we should be a little sneakier than that. They probably saw at least me too, so maybe somebody else should go down, and I will keep a low profile.
I mean, from what you've said, I'm not sure I could keep a low profile. I may end up being co-opted.
Yes, that is true. Ash, perhaps you could get up on one of these rooftops and take a look.
What am I looking for specifically?
There's a ship by the name of the Final Promise.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were looking for the ship or if there was something else. Yeah, I can fly up. Should
Yes.
I just do it in front of everybody, or should I go off and do it?
I mean, you can go on foot if you prefer. If you don't want to cause a scene. Maybe go and
No.
take
I
a look.
mean,
Well,
there's a lot of people around here. I don't want to just like fly up and kind of be noticed.
yes, fair point. Perhaps go with Aldrin, who looks like they already have the right idea.
Aldrin's already left your party and is walking up towards 3 guards. 4 of the guards here have taken notice of Aldrin already. A bright green elf carrying frogs is quite conspicuous in the open in a place that is usually full of well-to-do people.
Yes, I'm gonna go
Yep.
and.
Aldrin's kind of like, I'm not gonna be able to sneak through here, so I'm just gonna go look at what I want to look at.
Okay, I
I'm
think
not
I
doing
found an
anything
alley
wrong.
to fly up in.
So is Ash going to be climbing this tree or just flying up beside it?
There's a tree.
Ash has
I'm
moved
gonna
over
go
to a
over
tree.
here and try and
Ah.
kind of catch this guard's attention and distract him.
Okay. This worked so well last
so-
time. Let's
I'm
see
just
how
gonna
how does Victor distract this guard?
Not in a weird way this time. So I'm gonna. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Guard, sir, you're a town guard, I assume, by the
Wiggles. Wiggles the name.
uniform. Oh, that's a lovely name.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could perhaps direct me to somewhere I could buy a map of town, perhaps. and resupply.
Resupply what?
Just my traveling equipment and food and
Shops.
such.
Shops.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He points over to the right. Back down south.
Oh, they're just all of the shops, I assume, right?
Lot of shops.
And Wiggle, is that a family name?
There's, uh, there's my name.
Oh, but a lot of names are passed down through generations. Is it perhaps your father's name, your grandfather's name?
Dad's name Biggles.
Okay, rhyming. That's nice.
Uh,
Um, I never met my father. And I'm gonna basically just trauma dump on him to distract him for
Okay.
like 10 minutes from there about like how I never met my dad and I grew up in an orphanage and this and this and that rather
No
than
roll necessary. Wiggles just listens to everything that you've got to say, but he only grunts in response.
this is all. It's not to serve a purpose other than to just kind of hold his attention while Ash does the thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's one less guard in action, but there's also one less player in action, so that sort of evens out in my mind. So yeah, you've caught this guard's attention, but he's caught yours as well. So you know, we move on. Ash, what is it that you're actually achieving here? You're next to a tree. I just want to know: are you climbing the top of that tree, or are you flying up and landing onto one of the rooftops?
I am going to fly up and land on a rooftop.
Okie dokie. You're able to do that. I just want to see whether you are stealthing your way up there particularly well. Given that you're doing this around a back alley area, I will give you advantage on this roll.
Well,
A
we all know my
stealth.
stealth sucks, so let's see.
A 14 on stealth is fairly good. Let's see what these guys' passive perceptions are. Why does this not have any stats on it? Why have they removed the stats? That's not helpful. The hell? I need passive perception, man. Oh, it's there on the side. It's a 12. But Jesus Christ, there's no... They've updated the thing and there's absolutely nothing on the front sheet for me to do any checks. I can't do checks at all. It just doesn't... They don't exist. I guess he's not proficient in anything. Love that for me. That's great. Thanks so much. I love it when they update this shit and do it completely wrong. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, his passive perception is 12. You have a what do you call it? Stealth score of 14. That's fine. You're able to get up on top of the building rooftops. Now you're looking for ships, correct?
Yes, I am looking for the one ship that we saw that was supposed to be coming into port.
Okay. So you see that there are 2 that are docked in the harbour here. You see that there is another that is moored further out. And there is a 4th which is leaving the bay altogether.
Now, do I see our boat that we were looking for, the one that we were going to catch?
Give me a perception check. Pretty please. A dirty 20. With a dirty 20, yes, you do see the final promise. It is the one that is moored further out.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna get back down and meet up with my friends and tell them that it's here and which one it is.
Lovely. Meanwhile, while you're doing all of that, these guards regard Aldrin and Briar and say, "Good day! May we ask why you're coming near the harbour?"
I'm just looking at the boats. They're huge. I haven't seen big ones like that before.
They are particularly big. You are correct. You can see how big they are from very far away as well. That's the advantage of them being big. You do not need to be this close to the harbour. Please step away.
Oh, all right. This really big building over here. That's the tavern, right?
That's a tavern, yeah.
Alright, thank you very much.
No problem. This door is open.
Thank you.
As in unlocked. Briar, you are following Aldrin, I assume?
I was inching up towards the harbor, yeah. And then I think I would have overheard the guards and been like, "Whoop, nope, not going any closer."
Yeah, I don't know if it was overheard so much as they were directing it at both of you. Because two conspicuous people walking out in daytime towards a harbour that is well guarded, they're probably just going to shout at you and say, fuck off. So that's basically what they've done. So yeah, you are welcome to go into the tavern. You see that there are a number of people in here. There's a bunch of people that are sat around tables. There's a server that's walking backwards and forwards. There's not many people in here at the moment. It seems like it's pretty dead at the middle of the day because there's just most people are either working on the ship or they're working in their stores or they're sat around having drinks with each other in other places like the coffee places or tea places. So yeah, right now there's not that many people inside the tavern, but you are welcome to go in and walk around, speak to people if you wish. Ruby, what's Ruby doing right now? You're stood next to a tent. Are you aiming to find someone to appraise your gem by any chance?
So that was the idea. I think you said these guys were traders. I just punked myself there. I wasn't sure if you'd said what types of trades the 4 tents were.
Well, they're just sort of various things. The tents don't really have any particular trade specialty. They're more sort of trinkets, odds and ends, things that they might have found in places that they wanted to sell. You know, lockets and bracelets and headpieces and cowls and gauntlets and armor and swords and nothing of any particular wealth or variety. Just the assorted sort of shit bric-a-brac that you might find in any regular tent these days.
Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Lovely.
exactly.
So if I see one that's got like jewelry and things, or like the bracelet style one rather than the gauntlets, I'll go to that tent and just ask, "Hey, I've just come to
Figured out how to
this
fix it.
town,
Yeah.
and I just wondered if you, either yourself or if you know of where I could have something appraised by any chance." And I've tried to put on my best, most.
What do you want appraised?
I've lucked out really on my travels. I found some lovely gems, and one of my friends has found some lovely ore. And we just wondered where we might be able to visit to have something like that appraised.
Or what?
Gold ore.
Gold or what?
Can I hear, or am I too far away to hear that?
You can hear like little bits sort of on the breeze. You're about 30 feet away, so you know you're not hearing the full gist of everything. You can get closer. You got some gold? Or what?
One of my friends has some gold, yes, and we were just wondering where we could talk about getting that checked out. Make sure it's proper gold, not fool's gold, you know?
Right. Well, look. I buys and I sells. You got something? Show it. I'll tell you if it's worth a bob.
Am I able to do like a little perception check or insight check just to work out how well they may be able to appraise something?
I don't know if you could tell from someone's demeanor how well they'd be able to appraise an object, to be fair. I think that if you did do an insight check, that you would be doing it at disadvantage based on that. So you can do an insight check, but it would be at disadvantage. Just on a very first time meeting somebody to try and figure out how good they are at figuring out gems just from their appearance, I don't know if that's a very easy thing for anybody to figure out.
Well, let's just do it, hey?
Let's just do it. A 2.
There you go, it's a 2.
So, yeah, you don't know what they're good at appraising, but you know that this person has a very toothy grin. But when I say toothy, I don't mean many teeth. I mean that they have very few of them in there. And so it's very apparent that there are very few teeth in their head. But
Could
they
I
have a
do-
lovely smile.
Could I do an insight check to see if he's full of shit?
You are 30
Uh,
feet away. To do any kind of insight,
I-
you would need to involve yourself in the thing. I can't have people doing insight checks from like 60 feet away, you know. Do you know what I mean? You'd have to
Okay.
involve yourself in the conversation to get any kind of hints on that. You're welcome to join. You could walk up and help Ruby out.
Oh, did I hear that you buy stuff?
It's over here at the tent. You're talking to somebody on a bench.
Sorry.
Me?
I thought it was
No,
the
no, I
person on
don't
the
buy
bench.
things. What? I just sat here having my lunch.
I thought it was the person on the bench who was talking to. My bad.
No, there's someone in the tent. Oh, hello. Are you selling things as well?
Yeah, I can whittle a couple of things with wood, make it look like other stuff. What would you pay for that? If I say whittled your likeness.
I'm gonna give them a. Let me just change this so that I can actually see what the fucking thing is. It's not. Hang on. I need to change this to legacy sheet so that I can see it. There we go. Lovely. Right. Okay. And let me change this to be legacy as well so that it's always defaulted to that. All right. So they are going to do, I guess, a charisma check to see how good they are at this, let's say, interaction. It'll be what determines their patter. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm very good at whittling things down. Prices most of the time.
Yes, I laughed at his joke.
Ruby does not.
Yeah, let me get a good picture of your likeness in my brain and let me see what I can come up with.
Okay, so, well, for one, they've got one ear. The other one is scarred. They've got, apart from that, they have a nice head of hair. They don't have many teeth, but the ones that they do have are well-to-do, well-appointed. They have clothing. It doesn't look like it's seen many washes in the last week, but it's certainly it's sort of well-made. It's like of a good fabric. It's of a good thread. It's not particularly well fitting to them, and the same with the rest of their gear. It sort of looks like it's too tight here, too loose there, but it looks well enough, you know. It looks like they have a good image about them. But I would say that the sort of jauntiness of all of it could easily throw a person off. You've never carved somebody with just one ear before, or just with very few teeth. So it will be
Well, I mean,
a
that's less
relatively
work for the one
okay
ear.
DC for you to get a good likeness of them. And with a 7, unfortunately, it's not 100% great. I mean, would Ruby be giving you a hand, do you think? Ruby, do you think you're going to
Ruby?
be that way inclined?
To be honest, I think Ruby is too enthralled watching Ash to register that she should help.
Okay.
Truthfully.
So, with that, then you make a passable sort of wooden nubbin. It looks relatively like a person. It doesn't really look like this person in particular. It's all right, and they look at it and
Right,
sort
don't
of,
got this, hold
okay,
on.
I see what we're dealing with here. Did
But
you
I
say
am
that you've got a
confident of
gem?
this.
Sorry. Did you say that you've got a gem? Or gold?
She is the gem.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
Ruby.
are. She reaches out their hand and squeezes at your cheek and pinches a little bit too hard.
As soon as I am touched by this random person, Ruby, without a word, leaves.
All right. Oh, touched that one in the wrong way. I did, didn't I? Well, if you've got anything of value, then I would be pleased to do business with you. What was your
You wanna
name?
like
Sorry.
I'm Ash, but do you not like my art? It's a new type of art. It's not going to be like a one-to-one likeness.
It's
there's a
new.
little spin on it.
It's definitely new.
Well, what will you give me for this? I made it just for you.
I will give you a firm handshake and a thank you and good day.
All right. I guess I'll take it. I hand it over.
Okay. They give you a firm handshake, and they say thank you and good day. As you walk away, you can hear them starting to try and drum up business. Who's gonna give me 10 gold for this abstract piece of art?
Hey, Ruby.
Yeah.
That guy was a swindler, I feel like. Let's try to go somewhere a little bit more refined to sell the jewel, if that's what you're wanting to do.
I hope you don't take me going to a swindler for me to sell the jewel. I just want to
feel
check.
like he would have
I just want to
tried
check
take
it.
I feel like he would have tried to take it though. I got bad vibes
Yeah.
from him. So let's.
I don't
let's
think
go-
you're wrong.
That's why I came up and I didn't mean to overstep. I'm sorry if I did, but
You didn't over.
I was just worried.
I appreciate that, Ash. I just don't like someone
Like-
touching me on the cheek. That was quite uncouth. Sorry to leave you with him.
Oh no, that's fine. I shook his greasy hand, and now I need to go wash my hand.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
we should wash.
maybe you should wash your face.
You
Just
you
ignore
also
that hand's
you
been.
see across the top of the sort of drape of the tent, like over the stall, that it's got the name Salazar's stuff on it. That you can assume that the person's name is Salazar.
Comment on washing her face. Ruby registers what has fully just happened, and just you can see her visibly shake with disgust.
Let me go try to find a place where we can wash up. One moment. I'm gonna approach these guards and ask them if there's a place that ladies can freshen up at.
One of them
Me, I'm
regards
not
you
the lady, but-
coldly. The other one looks over at you and thumbs behind him, which you can see clearly is a stables.
Thank you very much.
They turn away from you.
So there's some stables behind this building here that we can go in and clean off our grossly mistouched places on our bodies.
How far do we think that Victor has gotten down his life story?
I think quite a way, but he was probably keeping like an eye on his friends, kind of inconspicuously as he did it. So as they started to move towards the dock, I think he would have perhaps assumed that it was safe, as everyone seems to have stopped, like, observing that kind of thing. So I think he would probably just say to Wiggles, thank you for your time. If you are in the tavern this evening, please say hi, and I will buy you a drink for your assistance.
Yeah.
Good day.
No.
So Aldrin and Briar have gone to this big building here, right?
Yeah. I believe Aldrin's walked inside, and Briar is sort of loitering outside. Briar, would you have gone in with Aldrin, do you think?
Yeah.
Right, we'll just pop you in there
Okay,
then.
so I've seen them go
Couldn't
in
find
there,
the door.
and I've seen
He was stood
I've
right in front of
seen
it.
Probably Ash and Ruby. They weren't sneaking or anything, so I would have been able to kind of keep an eye on them.
No, no.
Like leaving with.
Yeah, so you can head inside of the tavern if you wish, or are you gonna head after Ruby and Ash?
I think as Ash was the one that was spying for me, I will head towards those two.
Okay.
So I'll probably
Well,
go
you
just-
lost sight of them as they turned a corner. But you know that they sort of were around here and then went up to speak to these guards.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go and speak to the guards, the same guards.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
My friends just passed by here. I believe they spoke to you briefly.
Oh.
And Aarakocra and a Tabaxi, they were speaking to you a moment ago. Could you tell me which direction they went, please, or where they were heading?
Yeah. In here. Thumb's behind him.
Where?
He sort of throws a thumb
To
over his
the-
shoulder.
Oh, to these in the stables.
Yes.
Okay.
He sounds so stoic.
Yeah.
You can give me an
Doesn't he?
insight check if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, what's this guy's problem? Oh, cool. I got a decent one finally.
Alright, and he gets a nat 1. This is just one of those big old symptoms of a classist society where certain people have and certain people do not have. This is essentially a bigoted god.
Oh. Okay. I don't like that. Victor doesn't like that.
Nope.
But he
Nor
also,
should anybody.
isn't about to cause trouble. Yeah, isn't about to cause trouble. Yeah, as a half orc, he probably, I would imagine, has bad experiences with such people.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just gonna kind of nod, and just kind of quietly walk past him without causing a scene.
They
up to
don't
the-
step aside for you, but you
Oh.
are able to walk past them still. It's one of those awkward
so
sort
now-
of brush up
Yeah.
against the shoulder kind of thing. You have to try and muscle your way between them. But you're able to do it.
Okay. I'm Oh, do I want to fucking rob him while I'm past? Just to prove a point.
Give it a go. Give it a go.
I don't know if it's a good idea.
Up to you.
Let me see. What? Yeah, I know. That's the problem. I'm not gonna try and rob him, but I'm gonna
Okay.
like in my falling into him.
Yeah.
Try to like undo his belt so his trousers fall
Okay.
down,
Okay, give me a sleight of hand.
but kind of in a stumbly like klutzy kind of way.
I'll say because
Okay.
of the stumble, you will get advantage on this.
Okay.
22. You managed to get it undone in just such a way that it does not fall down immediately, because he would know exactly what had caused that. You do it in such a way that it's going to fall in the next few minutes, and he's not going to put 2 and 2 together to know that it was you. So, perfectly well. You do it in just the right amount of efficacy. And
I
because of
smugly
your
carry on
high
about my
roll,
business.
you also managed to snatch up a little bit of a coin that was sort of lodged on
Oh.
the side of his belt.
Oh. I pocket it quietly and I'll put in a separate pocket so I can
Okay, give me a perception check.
have a look at it in a moment. when
Let's
I've
see
out
how
of
well
them.
you can perceive
Yes.
it while being careful about putting it away. Give me a perception check to see how good you are with just your feel. Good enough. Yeah, 13. You're able to feel that there is a hole in the middle of this coin. It's different to any other coin that you've felt. A normal coin would be flat, as regular ones are these days. This has got a hole through the middle of it. It's how it was able to hook onto the side of his belt. But without looking at it, and I imagine you wouldn't conspicuously pick up this coin that you've just robbed off someone and stare at it as you're walking away from them.
No, it's,
So
it's pushed up
yeah,
my
without looking at it properly, you're not
sleeve,
able to really
effectively, yeah.
fully perceive it. So yeah, it goes into your pocket aside from the rest of your coinage, and you get to the doorway where you see Ruby and Ash around a water bucket, rinsing off Ruby's face, and I guess Ash's hand.
Okay.
Yeah, it was gross.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
God. Asshole.
Uh,
You see, there's a stable hand in the back of the thing. Hi.
Oh. Oh, please excuse my language. I'm not from here. Um,
Oh, no problem.
yes. So anyway, those guards are bastards, right?
Oh, yeah, full bastards.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, don't you know? This stable guy has been just very kind, letting us wash off some grossness from the city.
That is indeed very, very kind. And what is your name, sir? Yes.
Oh, who, me?
Yes. These are my friends. I know their names.
Oh. Oh, yeah, fair enough. I'm Stramena Floric.
Okay. I'm not accustomed to the names of this region. They're also fruitful.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, I understand. You can call me Ram for short.
Ram. Okay.
Yeah, Ram or Rock.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Remrock, do
Oh, I've
you
not had that before. Yes, I'll allow that as well.
why not? It's always good to have a first name and a last
What's
name,
your
right?
name? What's your name? Do you have a good name?
My name's Ruby.
He visibly heaves. Ugh. Ugh.
Uh, do you mind?
I do,
What's that
actually.
about?
What's wrong with that name?
Yeah, what's wrong with my name?
I'm sorry, I need to leave.
Excuse me. And I'm gonna try to just politely, not politely, but not
Mm-hmm.
overly forcefully step in front of him.
He's
Stop
already
this.
stepped
already
into
gone.
the he's in the next room basically. He's gone through this doorway.
Ah.
So there's a door here that he's closed behind him.
Oh.
Behind the hay bales.
Well, that was rude.
That was rather odd. Do you think we need to
Should
continue
we
the
have different
conversation?
names?
I'm more concerned if I need a different name. I mean, we all know I'm not the only Ruby, right?
You hear another heave from beyond the door. Ugh.
Oh.
Um,
I say, and I'm not the only Bernard. And listen.
And
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
and I'm not the only Ash.
Nothing.
Oh, perhaps there is some significance in your name.
You hear another stable hand from another doorway shouting out, just trying to join in. And I'm not the only Fenton!
Fenton! Fenton!
Fenton! Yeah!
Fenton! Jesus Christ, Fenton, can you come in this room, please?
Oh, Jesus Christ the Dragon?
Yeah, the dragon.
Yeah.
I've heard of Jesus
I
Christ the
nickname you-
Dragon.
Can I nickname you Dragon Fenton, Fenton?
Yes! I would like that.
Mr. Dragon Fenton, could I borrow you for a moment, please?
Of course, where are you?
We're in the washroom area.
Oh,
I'm buying
there
some hay
isn't a
bales and
washroom.
bucket.
There's a lot of buckets.
But
I'll follow the sound of your voice.
Fenton! Fenton!
Oh, hello.
Hello, Fenton. You mind
Fenton,
if I
come on
ask
in
you
here.
a- Fenton, I just wanted to check in. Is that okay?
Yes, name's Fenton Grix, by the way.
Hello, Fenton Grits. Do you have a nickname, Fenton Grits, like Mr. Ramrock over there?
You could call me Tong.
Tong? Where does Tong come from?
Fenton Grix.
Or your mouth?
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Oh,
And Tong Grix.
Yeah, Tong.
So,
The god over
Fenton,
there, his name's Christopher, but he's known as Stop for short.
Stop.
These are all excellent
Yeah.
names.
It's Christopher, S-T-O-P
So-
is part of Christopher, yeah.
So, my friend.
Did
here-
you just... Was that Tats laughing just then? It's like, stop! Yes, Christopher, stop for sure.
God.
As
Well,
you hear that, you also hear the sound of jangling metal and fabric hitting the floor, and the other guy going, "Stop! Your pants, they've fallen!" Oh no, not me, Pantaloonus!
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Excuse me, Tom. Whilst your friend Stop seems to be predisposed, do you mind if I ask a question?
Oh yes, please.
So, I perchance happen to have a particular name which your friend Mr. Ramrock didn't didn't appreciate, and I'm more concerned that by chance my name is Mud.
Oh no, my
Do you
mother's
happen
name
to
was
know?
Mud. My mother's name was Mud.
That's a good name. What is Mud short for anything?
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda. So, you know how names are very important, Fentong.
Yes, it's just Fenton. It's Fenton Grix.
Just Fenton.
But
I
Tong for short.
apologise.
Tong for short, if
I'm
you
getting
wish.
I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. So Fenton or Tong, sorry. Names are important, and I'm a little concerned that my name may cause problems in this town. Can I ask you after it?
Yes. Should I come inside? Your friend here seems to
Please
be
do.
blocking my path.
Please,
Victor,
do.
do you mind?
I'm gonna step aside. Yeah.
He climbs up on top of the hay bales and just sort of sprawls out. Looks like he's
Yeah,
done
I
it
just
many
give it a
times
sit
before.
on this one.
So, Tong,
A
my
little,
name.
a little
I
field mouse climbs up his arm like it's done it many times before, and he plays with the mouse in his hand.
so Tong.
Okay, I want to keep Tong.
So Tong, I'm
Yes.
concerned if I say my name, you may have a particular reaction. But is there a problem with anyone or a person by the name of a particular gemstone?
If it helps, the gemstone in question is red.
I'm sorry, I don't really understand what you mean.
So if the person next to me, if I were to call them
Meth.
B. What?
Like amethyst? Meth, short for amethyst.
No, not. No, that's purple.
No? Okay.
Is there a name that would cause people in this town to become sick to their stomachs?
Or possibly scared.
Oh. Jack, I guess, yeah. Jack.
Well, that's a gross name anyway, but
Well,
no. A
yeah,
female name.
if we ever get Jack here, we always get Jack off because he's always in the wrong place.
So Tong.
So if your name is B,
I
I don't know of any gems that start with B.
What about a gem? A gem that starts with a R.
A R.
And not rust.
Ru.
Rue.
You're
Beetroot.
talking so much.
Beetroot? That's red.
You're very close. Switch B Ru the other way around.
Root beet.
Minus
Huh.
the T's.
Oh my.
Not quite.
Rue.
Yeah?
B.
Yeah.
Ruby. 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 Oh, yes.
Bingo.
Oh, God. Sorry. Really bad. Sorry.
So why? Why is that name bad?
Oh, he looks over his shoulder at the door. No reason. Just, no, yeah. Just feels kind of bad, you know? Feels kind of bad. Yep. He continues playing with the mouse.
Can I do an
absentmindedly.
insight check on that?
Yep.
Let's go.
You get a 24. He gets a 14. You can tell that this person is scared of what people will overhear with the door open.
Ah,
Hey, Bernard, can you close that door?
sure. I close the door and lean on it.
What do you get known as for short? Is it Nod?
I don't believe anyone has ever shortened it.
Oh. Well, you have today, sir. You
as
will
is
be
the
Nod
custom,
in my
I
heart.
am
I will call
Nod.
you Nod.
While I am in limbo reports, I am not.
I
what-
adore the name, and long may you reign, Sir Nod.
I appreciate you welcoming me in such a fashion.
Yes, and you may know me as Tong.
Yes, I heard.
Can't shorten my name, I'm afraid. I'm just Ash.
Oh, well. Shush. I don't really know.
Shush. Yeah,
It could be
it's
shush.
really difficult.
Ass.
Anyway,
Or ass. Yeah, or ass.
Oh, thanks.
Or you could drop the S and it would be aha. Like ah.
I don't want to scare people, though.
Oh. No, don't worry about that. You don't scare me. He sort of bobs his knees around as he plays with the mouse in his hand.
Now that it's a little bit more private, could you tell us why people don't like that particular name?
Oh, it's the slave trade.
What do you mean?
Come again?
Well, this whole port. It's full of slaves, isn't it?
Where? What? I mean, are you a slave?
No, I'm not a slave, no.
Okay, but what does that name have to do with the poor slaves?
It's I mean, we've had a lot of rubies come through. All looking like your friend
Where
here.
are they now?
Oh,
Wait,
Where
well,
are they now?
I think I couldn't say.
Did any of them look like my friend here?
He did just say that, but yeah, he repeats it. Yeah, a lot of them look like your friend here. Yeah.
Like exactly like her, or like?
Come to speak of it, yeah. Different clothes.
That's a bit weird.
When was the last time you saw this person?
Well, I mean, they come through a lot, don't they?
Oh.
Where do they go? Do you know?
Homes, slaughterhouses, bundled into the
So
backs
are
of
they-
trucks. You know, like big old horse-driven trucks.
Where does this happen? Is it from a central point?
It's everywhere. You can't ask anybody in this town about it because we'll all deny it. We're all terrified.
Terrified of what?
You see these clothes? He points to the finery that he's wearing. I didn't buy them.
Who gave them to you?
Well, they take them off the people that they kidnap and the ships that the pirates pillage.
Right.
They spread it out around the town to keep everybody quiet. It's the only way that they can do that. Guards are all paid up. So are the noble. You just... Yeah. You can't say a word against them because the people that do go missing. So... we have to keep our heads down and pretend like everything's fine and dandy. Didn't you notice that
long has
all of the
this
shops
been-
here are just like bread and alcohol? You don't make a lot of money off that. All the tents up there, the bric-a-brac, it's all stolen.
How long has this been happening for, Tong?
I can't be sure, Rube.
Hey, we get you a
Okay.
nickname.
So the town is essentially like a disguise for the goings on?
It's corrupt. Corrupt from the bottom to the top.
Who's at the top?
Who's at the top? Well, it's hard to say because, well, in government, you often have figureheads, and, well, the nobility here is no different. I'd say that at the top is probably the pirate captains. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know much about these guys?
Well, we see them come through, but we have to keep our heads down and just not interact with them, or else they'll kill us for looking at them.
Anything distinct about them? Do they have a hat?
That feels like an oxymoron. I don't know if having a hat makes you distinctive, but I'm sure that a lot of them do.
Do you know of a
Are you in a
captain?
market for a hat? I could get you a hat.
I mean,
A
I could be a
hammer?
cat in a hat.
A cat in a hat would be quite something indeed.
And you think there's a chance we could find one of these captains, Tom?
I think that you'd probably have to go on board their ships. They don't really leave them.
Oh, okay. We couldn't find them in a tavern, or they don't gather somewhere in the city?
No, the city's more of a show. We mill about so that it looks like it's a port town, and they go about their business with people just assuming that it's just a good trade port, you know?
And is there
The
a
pirates
good way
did
to-
well a long time ago in the wars, and ever since then people have just turned a blind eye when the pirates do what the pirates do.
Why do you stay?
Because if I leave, they'll kill my family.
Where are your family, Tom? Are they not in the city?
Oh, I'm not allowed to see them. He continues
Oh,
playing with the mouse.
Where are they, Tom?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, the whole town here is held hostage.
But
So-
where?
Well,
So what you're saying is
I'm
you
a
need
good
some-
person. I have morals. I have I have my own principles. But if I held true to them, then I would leave, and so would everybody else here. And the pirates can't have that because then their whole charade falls apart. So they take our families and they hold them hostage. Sometimes they are crew members on the ships. Sometimes they are held in cages. Sometimes they're taken away to work in jails. Sometimes they're just sent off by the guards to be somewhere else. And I dare say that some of them are already dead. But I don't want to think about it because the only way that I know that they're at least stand a chance of being safe is for me to be here. So I stay here.
Could you tell us who it is that is your family specifically? And perhaps we can search them out.
Are you a friend? Nod?
Say that again.
Are you a friend of mine, Nod? A friend of mine would not ask me such a question. Because if you were to go around asking about about their names, then how am I to know that they're going to be safe?
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Apologies for...
I mean,
That's fine. That's fine,
Hey,
Nod.
Tom.
I like you, Nod.
you've told
you're
us-
a good person.
you've told us about your mum, right? Your mum, Mud?
Yes, Esmeralda.
Esmeralda. If we come across Esmeralda, would you be grateful if we helped get her free?
Yes.
If we come across her, at least on my behalf, and I'm sure of my friends as well, we will try what we can do to save her
Okay.
for you.
Well, for now, I think
Without
I've
letting
been
without
here
letting anyone know
for.
what we're doing.
I think I've been here for long enough that people are going to start asking questions about my whereabouts.
Yes.
So I will go about my day. I hope that you enjoy yours. Please don't get my family killed. And have a good day. May I leave? Nod.
Yes, but
Oh.
before he leaves, as the word friend is rather triggering to Victor currently, can I do some sort of, like, I don't know, like an Arcana check or something to see if he
Sure.
is perhaps presenting magically?
Yeah, of course. 9.
Garbage.
He's just a regular guy.
Okay, that's fine. I step aside and I open the door for him.
Lovely. He steps out and he goes about his day.
Okay. Perhaps we should find our friends. And
Speaking of
think
your
that's
friends,
wise.
we cut
let's
over
call
to
you-
the tavern. As I'm aware that we've left Aldrin and Briar sort of in here on their own doing God knows what. So let's see what's been happening over there. Aldrin, Briar, what are you up to while you're in here?
Well, Aldrin has come up to the tavern's bar to try and find a barkeep to try and sell some cheese and maybe get some information and maybe sneak a peek through that back door if there's maybe a way outside and around this building.
There's people that sort of congregate near the door, but nobody's really gone through it yet. There's one big door here, and
Yeah,
then there's a
that's the
side
one
door
we're
over here as
trying to
well.
Get a sneak peek through is the one
Yeah.
at the back.
Yeah. So this bartender walks up to you. Hello? Can I help?
Hi there. Do you need cheese?
No.
Are you sure? Because I've got a lot of cheese.
He sort of rubs his stomach, puts his finger into his mouth, lifts it up as if to test for the breeze. I am very sure that I do not need cheese. Can I help you?
Well, apparently you can't help me with buying some cheese. But
Well, no, but I might be able to get you a drink. We've got water. It's clean. It's drinkable.
oh, sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
Or we've got, like, apple juice, ciders, beers, rum. Rum's very popular. What else have we got? Teas. I heard of this fancy thing called coffee. Apparently there's someone here that can make it, but it's not one of me. You know?
Oh,
one of
I know
the
someone who
shipwrights.
likes that drink. They said to be careful with it.
Oh.
Uh,
Why, does it explode?
no, it doesn't explode.
Oh. It's just that most of the
but
things that they
they
tell
get
us to be
very
careful with around here tend to
jittery.
explode. So, you know.
Oh
just,
no, it doesn't explode. It just makes them very jittery.
Ah, fair enough. Well, look, can I get you a drink?
Yeah, cider would be great.
Lovely. He pulls one up for you. That'll be 1 silver piece.
Alright. Aldrin will hand over a gold because that's all they've got in currency.
Okay. All right.
At
He
the
gives you
door.
back your change. Let me just have a look at your inventory and see if I can figure this out.
Mhm.
Yeah. You would get back, I think, 9 silver pieces, and you would have 1 less gold.
Yep. So 19.99.
There you go. I fixed it for you.
and-
Okay, so you've got your cider. And you, miss, could I help you with anything? Turning to Brian.
I was just looking. We came into town, looking around. I went over to the harbor. I was trying to look at the boats. You know, they're so big and they're pretty. I haven't seen boats like that before, but the guards told us to make our way. Weren't allowed near them, and I was just curious why.
Give me a persuasion check.
What?
Well, they're just boats, aren't they? So, keep your distance is my advice. Dangerous things.
Boats are dangerous? Well, I mean, I suppose at that size they would be.
The rigging will kill you if the people on board don't.
Oh.
So, is the reason why they're so guarded is because people
Because
have
you should
gotten
keep
hurt?
away from them.
Because boats are dangerous.
Oh, okay.
He nods.
Well,
Can I get you a drink, miss?
Yeah, I'll, do you have any herbal tea?
Herbs. Herbs. He does the same thing. He puts his finger in his mouth and lifts it up to the breeze. No herbs, no. It's tea. It's tea or it's tea.
Okay, well, I'll take some tea then.
He pours out some freshly brewed, hot tea. No milk, mind, but it's in a tankard for you, ready to drink. Passes it over to you. Honey?
Yes, please.
He passes over a small pot as well. That'll be 2 silver.
I'll give him 3 silver.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At the moment you don't have anything in your inventory, but you should have had 2,000 gold. So we'll because you should have had that shared out already. So we'll just put that into your inventory now. Great. All right. So you've got your drinks. You've got some answers. Is there anything else that you wanted to do inside of the tavern, or are you going to have a look at that door?
Aldrin wants to take a look at this door, see if they
Okay.
can just kind of go out the back casually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. That's for staff only. That's the kitchens. I'd rather you not go through there.
Oh, sorry about that. Didn't realize. I thought it might just be another exit entry kind of space.
No, no, no.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
If you're looking for the bathroom, it's other door down the other end.
Ah, thank you.
No problem. He takes out a rag and starts cleaning the decanter.
Aldrin's gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay. Does Briar stay there?
I'm gonna sit down at the table and drink my tea.
All right. Give me a perception, Briar.
Oh, I moved my skills. Okay.
21. Okay, you, from the reflection in the metal tankard that you've been given for this tea, you see this guy behind the counter look and sort of, you know, that sort of upwards nod that people do, where he sort of like tilts his head back quickly. He does that towards one of the other commoners at the table, and they quickly step outside and go over towards one of the guards that you can see through the windows. The guard immediately goes and grabs another guard, and the two of those start walking in together and walk up towards the counter.
I
think at this point, I was going to say,
sorry.
you going to go through the door?
I'm gonna follow Aldrin into the bathroom and let
Great.
them know.
Give me
that some-
either a stealth or a
suspect.
performance. Are you going to try and sneak your way in there, or are you going to try and do this conspicuously but in a way that doesn't arouse suspicion? What do you think is Briar's
I
way
would
of
say
doing
it
things?
was more like I saw what was going on in my tankard, like you said, and then casually but quickly get up and follow Aldrin.
Right, but
let them
it's
know.
it's how you're doing that I'm trying to get at. It's not why. It's more like, are you trying to do this in a sneaky way, or are you trying to do it so that they can still see you, but that you're trying to play it off as if it's nothing?
Yeah, they can still see me, but I'm trying to play it off.
Okie dokie. So give me a performance check then.
Okay.
A 7. One of the guards turns and watches you as you step out. The other one continues talking to this person in hushed voices. You are still able
Do
to
I
walk through the door.
see them staring at me?
Give me another perception check. See if you get the sense of that. Yes, you do.
Okay.
So you're still able to
Nice.
walk down through the door. You head through the door and you see Aldrin at the very end of the corridor here. There's a bunch of different rooms. All of them have got doors. You don't really know which one's which. Aldrin, you do get a scent of something in this corridor, but you don't know exactly which room it's coming from, but it certainly smells of piss. Now, as we have this happening, don't move anywhere. I don't want people to just start walking their tokens around everywhere. It's not a video game. But we're going to head back over to the other group, because I think this is where our timelines start to match up. So, Ruby, Ash, and Victor, you've just had Tong step his way out, and this is just coming up to the point where we left off with you guys. Is there anything in particular that you guys want to be doing?
I think we should call you Rube while we're here in town, since that's the nickname you were given.
I mean, we could even just lose something to do with my first name entirely. You can call me Morn. Just Morn.
It's
Morn,
your name.
yeah.
It's your decision. Yes.
Just call me Morn. Let's just ignore anything that's too close to Ruby.
Okay.
I don't want to cause any problems.
What it is.
So you don't want to be called B?
Nah. Just call me
Okay.
Morn.
We can
So we've got Morn, and Nard.
Sir Nard.
Sir Nard.
Sure.
So,
I'm fine with you calling me by my real name. It's just I
Sure.
after
Might as well. Sure.
when you're in the business that I'm in, it's not always helpful for everybody to know who you are.
Okay, Nard, that's fine. We can go.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling this is gonna stay.
come on, let's head off.
Ah!
Take on me. Let's go.
Oh! Okay. So you all head off. Do you get up towards the tavern, do you think? Victor, you saw that was where Briar
Yes.
and Aldrin were both sort of chastised.
Yes. I believe our friends went to the tavern, so we should maybe not stay separated for too long.
As you get out here, you see that Stop is still stood with his pants around his ankles. He's just pretending as if nothing has happened. He's trying to like style it out, like this was a choice that he made.
Oh, what's going on over there?
He's just got tidy whities, and he's got his hands conspicuously covering his bits. But he's just like,
I lean in.
what? Nothing.
I lean into Ash and just whisper, that's the price you pay for being a bit of a dick.
Aha.
Repeating your name.
No, that's you.
Did you take him on, Nard?
I love all of these references. The take on me and the Fenton and all of that. I fully knew that was what I was doing when I put Fenton's name in the document. Yeah. Well, you know that this building right in front of you is the tavern. You know that the doorway is around the front. You know that there are 2 doors around the front. There's the big one that they walked through, and then there's a smaller one to the side, which is around this way. It's just behind the tents. It's up to you which door you want to go through, whether you want to try and get in through the side entrance or you want to go in through the front.
I think we should stay on these roads.
Okay, there is a road that leads up to that door, I will say.
Sorry, that's an Aha song. I was trying
Literally
to
here.
continue it.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm not that big on Aha.
Yeah, I know that song.
So, Victor, from here, you can see that there is a guard, one solitary guard, stood directly in front of this doorway.
Okay.
And the rest of you, are you following?
Yes, but Ruby is just maybe pulled her fabric a little bit further around her face. Try and cover it up just a tad. Tad more without
Lovely.
it being conspicuous.
Give me a sleight of hand check to see how good you are at doing that. 7.
Not very.
You'd sort of like have a flap of this like wrap around that you wear, just sort of caught in your teeth, and you just hold it there in your teeth. It's very slobbery. It's really not effective, but you think that it's great.
I'm having
okay.
a little bit of a chew.
Yeah. So as you chew on your clothing, and as one of these guards is completely distracted by Stop, who is refusing to pull his trousers back up, you have this door in front of you. Are you going to try and enter the door? Are you going to talk to the guard? Are you going to stealth? What's the thing happening here?
Which way is the guard facing?
It's right here, and the guard is facing outwards, away from it.
Okay. Should we try and...
You're stood right next to 2 guards, so this discussion probably needs to be a little bit more inconspicuous.
Yeah. Okay. I'll move a little further up, and then I'm gonna kind of signal to everybody to just sneak, essentially, to be quiet as we go.
All right.
We'll
This is not going to play out well. I hope you know that. You asked the 2 clumsiest of us to sneak.
Give me a group stealth check. Everybody
I
gets...
have +5. I have +5 on stealth. I just
Everybody
rolled badly.
do 1 stealth check each, and we will take the group average as the middle
If
number.
he turns around, we feign ignorance.
Okay, so we've got a 6
Ash.
from Ash
From him.
and a 25
Ah,
from Ruby.
Told you.
We just need Victor's to be
Yep.
higher, and that's a 15.
I
The
rolled
average
a
is
nat.
a 15.
I rolled a nat 20.
You did roll a nat 20, that is correct. So we got a nat 20 and a 6, and the 6 is what makes your average a 15. So the group stealth check passes, because this guard's passive perception is not that good. It is only a 12. So you are able to sneak your way up to the doorway and head inside if you wish. But once we actually have a successful group check.
I just imagine that they like just clammed their mouth over my beak and just carried me.
As you
Maybe
open
made you
the
an
door...
ash sandwich.
Yeah.
As you open the door, you see that Aldrin is at the end of the corridor, and Briar has just stepped through this doorway. But the guard is right there behind you.
Okay.
Aldrin waves.
I'm going to quietly close the door.
Okay.
Briar is gonna kind of motion to, quiet, something suspicious is going on.
Okay. Are you going to close the door behind you,
yes.
Briar, or is that staying open? Just so I'm
Yeah,
aware.
I'm gonna close it behind me, and then
Okay.
as I see everyone kind of appear, it's gonna startle me a little bit because I wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to relay what I saw with the guards to the group and just let them know that, like, they have taken notice and they're watching. I'm going to say it very quietly.
Okay. Well, I think we drew minimal attention on our way in, but this whole place is very suspicious. And I'll kind of relay the conversation we had with Tom a little.
Mm-hmm.
Just the footnotes, really quickly.
Are you including Aldrin in this? Because Aldrin is at the other end of the corridor.
Probably not, so we can stay quiet for now.
Okay. Then, because you're behind doors, we're not going to say that you need to do any stealth checks. You can just keep this quietly between the 4 of you. Aldrin, what is it that you're up to at this point?
So Aldrin's interested in this upper door here
Okay.
because it's
As you
the
open
only
that door,
one
you
on
can
this
see
side.
that that is the bathroom. The lavatory is through this door.
Okay. And then this way, though, there's another door, which is what they were looking for.
So that
Or
one is
this
locked.
a window? This
There's a
one's
window
locked.
next to it, but this one's locked. You would need to pick the lock.
Is window people-sized?
is it people-sized? I mean, it's got crossbars, it's wooden, and it's made of glass.
Ah, okay. So, can't climb out the window.
Ruby saying
Alright.
melt quietly in chat.
Hmm.
The rest of you, what are you up to? You see that Aldrin has walked off of this corridor and has left outwards through this door. Up at the end here.
Ruby would like to see if she could try and lock this door from the inside.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand.
And Aldrin's also
No.
gonna want to try and get through this door.
Okay. Give me. Do you have a lockpick kit
Let
or
me.
thieves' tools?
No. Hold on. Thieves and no. Wait.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
I have
you-
acid though.
You've seen me pick locks before, by the way, so you would know that I
Yeah.
have those. If you
Uh,
require
so-
assistance.
Aldrin would probably go and like wave Victor down the hall and try and bring his attention to this locked door. Can we get through this?
Can certainly try. Do we want to get through this?
I was trying to get out around the building.
Okay. Then we'll get
And
through
I
this.
saw it
Ruby,
might
now that
be
you've
this
not
way.
succeeded with this door, what is your plan now? Are you going to join the rest of the group, or are you staying where you are?
Yeah. Since I failed, I'll maybe grab Briar on my way and wander down, following the
Okay.
others.
Does this door seem as though it leads outside then?
Yeah, you can see
Well,
through the
there's a
window next
window
to
right
it.
next to it.
You can see through the window next to it that it is leading outside. I would just like Ash to give me a flat d20 and tell me odds or evens. Let's slash R1d20, and before you roll it, tell me odds or evens.
Odds.
7. That's very lucky. You hear that somebody goes up to one of the doors here, down in this corridor, and they start to turn the door handle, but then they let go of it and go about something else within the room, muttering to themselves that they've left something in there. You get the sense that somebody may have just about to walk through that door and see you all here, given that you and Briar are stood in a corridor while other people pick a lock.
I'm
Hint.
gonna grab
Hint,
Briar and
hint,
run inside.
hint. Move your ass. Hint, hint, hint.
I grabbed Briar and drug her with me.
I know, it's just, I don't know how many times I can hint at people. Move your ass.
Symptom stream,
Is-
sorry.
I'm gonna,
okay.
As
There we go.
as
Lovely.
it has been requested of me to pick this lock, I will attempt.
You
to
may do
so.
it with advantage, since Aldrin is there trying to help you with it.
Yeah.
Ruby's just gonna wash
Oh
her
my
hands.
god!
This is not a
Awful.
it's well appointed in terms of taverns, but it's not like we're not talking about a bank. We're not talking about a treasury store. This is not where they keep all of their munitions or their stolen goods or even the slaves. This is a tavern. So in fact, you only had to hit a 12 and you got a 13. So this simple lock for a bathroom is easily unlocked. And the door now starts to give as you turn the door handle.
Okay.
You now have access to the
Sweet.
outside. And
That's
as we
very
get to
sweet.
this point in our story, that's where the session is going to
Yes.
end. So we're going to end the session here. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Did everybody enjoy that? A new city, a new bunch of lore to find out, more people to talk
And-
to, some really
And we're
weird,
locked.
some really weird
We're locked in the bathroom.
abbreviated names.
We got out of
Look,
the
Kong
bathroom.
is amazing.
My favorite was Stop, short for Christopher.
Bernard.
Stop.
Sir Nard, yeah, Sir Nard. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yes. It's fine.
God knows how Isabel is going to find you once she joins you later. But I'm sure we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, you have evaded some guards who seem to be at least made partially aware of your presence by you walking in front of them and going up towards the harbour, and then by some element of this establishment flagging them down and them coming in and seeing you. Seems like you've got a lot of work to do when we next convene, shall we say?
Yes.
And potentially Isabel will have some information then as well. Now, we also know that, Victor, you're not going to be with us next time. I believe it's next session, isn't it?
Unfortunately, I can't make next week, no.
So
Yes,
what do you
yes,
think
never
that
mind.
Victor should be dealing with at this point next week? We can decide now. Because if you've just picked a lock, I'm wondering whether you go back inside of this establishment to try and figure something else out, and that you're stuck there for the next session. Or maybe you choose
yes,
to
I
head
think
back
I'm-
and find Isabel so that you can point Isabel here.
I think I will probably encourage the rest of them to go about whatever they're going to do next, and I want to kind of stay in town and find out as much information about what the fuck's going on here, basically.
Great.
I think.
Lovely. Alright then. So you're going to stick
So
around and try and
yes, I'll
find
do
out some
that.
information,
I'll
do
be
a bit
kind
of recon.
trying to blend in and asking questions and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're sticking around, blending in, trying to find some information. How did you feel about the stranger coming and talking to you in your dreams?
I don't want that. I don't want that smoke. I didn't do anything.
I love that they knew exactly who you were when you tried to deceive. I need
Yeah,
to
I've got
go
good
up and
deception
find
as
that.
well.
Yeah, I need to go and find the hang on, what was the roll?
Was it 3? I rolled a 3. I think it was a natural
No,
1.
your deception, your deception you rolled a 4 because it was a nat 1 and you
Yeah.
got a +1 and a +2 bonus. The stranger rolled a 26 insight.
Jesus Christ. That dragon got me again.
Yep. Jesus Christ, the
Yeah,
dragon.
I kind of expected that they'd just know my name anyway, but I think Victor, it makes sense that he'd try and
Yeah.
lie because he doesn't really fully understand what's going on yet with
Yeah.
all of his new friends and their baggage, as it were.
And Ruby finding an entire town complicit in the slave trade that you are a part of. I mean, how does Ruby feel about that?
I don't think Ruby has the ability to process fully what's going on. She just needs to wash her hands in this sink.
I mean,
And
That sounds like a
understood.
good idea.
Exactly. And ground herself. She's having a real old time, is Rubes.
I think that Ruby needs to murder some folks, honestly. I think there's
She's
probably
really
some people
tried
that...
a few times.
Yeah. And you're just very squishy. I think Ruby probably needs to
The squishiest.
wash her hands in blood, so to speak, so that she can, cleanse herself of these people and their backgrounds and the things that they've done to her. Some
This
terrible,
town
terrible
wouldn't be
people here.
missed.
Well,
Well, I mean, maybe the slaves would, or Tong.
Why don't you ask your friends to wipe everybody out again?
Wow, I feel like Ruby is just being called right out.
I mean, Victor, you're
she-
friends with them now too, right?
I'd never
Yeah.
agreed to
No, you never agreed.
that.
I didn't
No, I
agree
never
to
said
anything
yes. Yeah, I never.
Ruby didn't agree to anything. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I was very sheepish about it. It
Well,
has a 5-friend limit.
5-friend limit. You
Yeah.
6-friend?
nice.
Tong isn't your friend? He named you Sir Nard.
No, 5
Yeah.
friends. 5 friends, and then my best friend.
Merlin is a work
Merlin.
acquaintance.
Nod.
Yeah, Merlin is a work acquaintance.
But he knighted you, so I mean that has to stand for something, right?
Yeah, man. Well, with that, I think we're at the end of the session then, guys. Thank you so much. I went over time because I wanted to sort of get to a
Thank you.
point that felt like it was worth getting to, you know? And I think unlocking the door to get to the outside, and now you can figure out on the next week between now and the next session how you're all going to work this out together. I think that's probably a good way to go. In the meantime, Tats, do you have anybody that we're going to head off to? Is the guy that you
Yeah,
told me about before still going?
Yes, that person that I told you about before. I am in there now. I already rated out.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Well, then we're going to raid to that person.
You want
thanks,
me to
everybody.
type their name again?
What is Grogmode, right?
Yeah, Grog mode.
Great. All right then. So we're going to do that. Raid 1 if you're followed. Raid 2 if you are subbed. It looks like Moobot doesn't have the sub anymore, but don't worry about that. It will still work if you are subbed, as I can demonstrate here. And thanks everybody for being here. That was super cool. I'm very happy that I got to make, I think, Steve, you laughed again at Salazar. Oh, what?
Yeah, yeah, you caught me a couple of times. Yeah, that one got me though. I was like, I knew it was coming. As soon as you did it, I was like, I would have made that joke myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
classic dad
like,
joke. Classic
luckily,
dad joke
I
for a
was
non-dad.
shoving a samosa in my face at the time, so I already had my mic muted. Or
Great.
I would have like visibly, like you would have heard me spit samosa down my microphone.
Oh, that's great. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Well,
I had so much fun. Thank you. I've been looking forward to this all week.
yes.
Same.
And hopefully you're going to be with us on Monday, right?
I am, but I'm not going to be streaming that. I'm just going to hang out.
No, but for anybody who doesn't know, the Cryptic Critters, we meet on Mondays, same time and places here. It's dungeon crawling, it's one-shots, it's very fun. But for now, we're going to head off and we're going to visit our new friend Grog Mode. Hope you all have a lovely time. See you all soon. Goodbye.
Bye.